Okay, I want to acknowledge Gwen Chan, and you know, her son, Darren, was supposed to be here. Darren, you may all know, is the engineer on the broadcast for the Giants games. Often mentioned, Darren Chan, often mentioned, and I think he every once in a while gets his mom and Rosemary into a private box at the ballpark, because I see them on television. So, former principal, former superintendent of schools in San Francisco, Gwen Chan.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I had to do some scratching off. Okay, here we go. Good evening. What a lovely gathering of Mustang family and friends tonight. I really enjoy seeing familiar faces, catching up, and also meeting new alum. Especially Seth Lee, and hope I pronounced your name correctly. Where is he? Oh, there you are, right in front of me. There's so much pride among all the participants here tonight regarding Lincoln High School, and it just touches my heart warmly. But as always, our gratitude to former alumni president David Whitehead and loyal event planner Izzy, where are you? Izzy Hogan? And Christine Aiken. Oh, Christine. Sorry, Ron. I hired her.
But I nurtured her.
Oh, okay, you got me there. And kudos to our former alumni president, Bill Mustanich, for being our photographer tonight, and his little elves, Brian and Sean, wherever you are. Elves. Okay. Tonight is a long time coming. Many frequent flyers to this recognition award dinner have sat at these same tables wondering, when is Rosemary Kamkar going to receive the Distinguished Faculty Award? Well, tonight's the night.
Yeah.
Rosemary retired to meet the requirement. Rosemary's accomplishments, plural, as a mother, grandmother, teacher, and counselor of special education, student activities director, former assistant principal, our school district student advisory council advisor, colleague, and friend are many, many, and so impressive. I'm guessing, though, that her proudest achievement is being mom to Sean. Where's Sean? Yay, Sean. Sean is a graduate of our beloved Lincoln, class of 2000, former student body president, and alumni scholarship winner. You know, we should have an event in the future with former alumni winners to see.
I think you ought to organize it, Gwen.
I'll take you come. Big mouth, all right. Sean has a PhD in aerospace engineering from Stanford University. And he advanced quickly up the corporate ladder to be vice president of ZES. Is it pronounced AI? Yay. Artificial intelligence. Mr. Grakens, are you listening?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And heads data science. He and his wife, Abby, live in Burbank with California with two adorable children, Margot 4 and Jack 2. All wish they could be here to honor, with Sean to honor Rosemary. So, it was in 1977 when Rosemary arrived in San Francisco from a small town in Pennsylvania seeking work. Her first job was with the Hunters Point Boys Club, where she quickly established trusts, tutoring students and writing grants. Now you gotta picture this, a blonde, beautiful girl venturing into Hunters Point, you know, and working with a population that may seem surprised, but they welcomed her and loved her very much. 3 years later, she started her teaching career with the school district, teaching in a number of schools. And in 1984, she ventured west to begin teaching at Abraham Lincoln High School. She taught typing and 10th grade English, and then special education for the next 32 years, for a total of 37 distinguished years with the school district. I had the good fortune of meeting Rosemary in 1992 when I was assigned to Lincoln as the new principal. The challenges were many, but I, along with a core group of faculty, staff, PTSA, and the Alumni Association led by, of course, David Whitehead at that time, wanted the same goals: a revitalized, academic, comprehensive, and safe school with pride in being a Mustang. And included in that core group was Rosemary. By the way, I would be remiss if I did not recognize another key leader at Lincoln then, and who's present tonight and was already introduced, Miss Florence O'Malley. As I moved on to other district positions, including supervising 17 high schools, I can attest that Lincoln High School had the most spirited and positive school culture for teaching and learning for most of the 90s and 2000s. Administrators come and go, but it is truly the lead teachers who stay and maintain traditions and fight for what they work hard to achieve for the school community. Rosemary, by far, fulfilled that continuity over and over again because she truly loved Abraham Lincoln High School and worked tirelessly with compassion in her heart. Just ask the parents and students she counseled and found resources to support them under difficult circumstances. In fact, ask any of the former and present stars of Lincoln faculty and staff that I was going to introduce, but someone else did, including the incomparable former principal, Ron Pang. Okay. And even Dan Yee is here. Oh, Dan, you there? Dan Yee is a teacher at Washington, and I don't know how, but he was at Washington more than he was, rather he was at Lincoln more than he was at Washington. But we thank you for your support through the years. In addition to Rosemary's teaching and counseling of special education to her students, her leadership in student government, already touched upon tonight, helped shape countless students' lives. And she kept school traditions like the Brotherhood, Sisterhood, Assembly, and Thundering Mustang Rally going strong with a purpose of unifying all students, elevating school spirit, and recognizing student leadership and potentials. And one of her former students is here tonight, and she's kept up with him, among many others, is Gerardo Mata Herrera. Okay. And John already took my speech and introduced himself as being a former student leader under Rosemary. Huh? Okay. Indeed, Rosemary, you have touched so many of our lives. I salute and congratulate you. All A+s on your report card. And now, please welcome our Distinguished Faculty Award recipient, Rosemary Kamkar.
That this was the hardest speech I ever had to write, because every time I sat down to start, it would go in so many different directions. It's like, oh my goodness, how am I ever going to stand up here and talk about Lincoln High School in some cohesive way? So bear with me, and these are my thoughts, okay? Thank you, first of all, to my dear friend Gwen for that kind introduction, as well as to my son Sean, who is here tonight, and the former colleagues and students, and my alumni friends, here to celebrate this evening together. We've missed each other, and it's really good to see you in person. Thank you to the Abraham Lincoln High School Alumni Association and to its Wall of Fame committee for this honor, because it truly means a lot. And congratulations to our alumni inductees, Phil Carville and Isaac Bond. I am looking forward to hearing your stories. I'd also like to congratulate our 2020 and 2021 Alumni Scholarship winners for going above and beyond while at Lincoln High School. May the academic and social foundation that they built at Lincoln continue to serve them well as they pursue their career and personal goals and dreams. May they never forget their roots. Remember, once a Mustang, always a Mustang. And thanks again, the alumni, for your continued support through your very generous scholarship program. I remember when I first arrived at Lincoln in 1984, there was no formal alumni association. In the late 80s, Principal Phil Lung asked me to represent the school as activities director and attend a meeting with alumni who were not only working on organizing this association, but also planning for the school's 50th anniversary gala that was held at the Marriott in 1990, an event that ASB officers and I were actually invited to enjoy. And as some of you know and remember, it was quite impressive. Like, I truly loved the Decades Room. It was just so much fun. So I was also fortunate enough to be able to work with all 5 of the alumni presidents, including our new president, Jonathan Wu, my former student. Jonathan, again, congratulations. We met in 1999 when you were a freshman class officer and we worked together for 4 years. I am very proud of you and of your fellow alumni executive board members who also were part of ASB, Sean Yee and Brian Luker, both here tonight. That's Sergeant Luker, SFPD. The 3 of you have given so much of your time and energy to strengthen the association for so many years, just like you did to ASB and show choir. You made it more efficient and inclusive and memorable back in the day. And again, your largest and most successful event was the Abraham Lincoln High School 75th celebration, anniversary celebration, held on campus in October of 2015. That truly was a ton of work. And may you have continued success. And thank you for everything you and this organization continue to do for the students and staff of our school. I know how truly invaluable your support is. So, what was it really like for a small town country girl from Western Pennsylvania to teach at Lincoln? Think about it. I was hired as a special education teacher whose job was to level the playing field, or in this case, the classroom experiences for students with documented learning differences, with IEPs or individualized learning plans. I knew how to do my job, but I never imagined what diverse and varied life experience and remarkable stories so many of our students have, so different from mine. For example, I didn't even see the ocean until I was 17, and I can count on my hands how many times I actually visited the city of Pittsburgh, you know? I mean, at Lincoln, every time I walked those stairwells to the 2nd and 3rd floor, and I would get a glimpse of the ocean or the fog, I would say, thank you, God. Seriously, because I learned so much from so many for so long, and that's truly a blessing. I always believe that a real partnership with a student in his or her home, teachers and coaches, does indeed produce positive results. And that's what I did as a full-time special education resource specialist. Attendance and effort, attitude, along with Principal Pang's 3 R's, rigor, relevance, and relationships, are proven recipe for lifelong success. Special thanks and much love to our very competent and supportive special ed staff, especially our classroom paraprofessionals, with whom I've had the pleasure of working so closely. I could not have lasted 37 years without you. My first para and Lincoln alumna is here this evening, Miss Peggy Collins. Believe it or not, I met her in the old Shack 7, as is Jim Garzaloni, my 137 roommate and right-hand man for so many years. You guys, thank you for being here too. Although I never intended to spend my last 30 years of teaching overseeing one of the largest student activities programs in the city, being in that unique position allowed me to see the school with its successes and its challenges over such a long period of time from a different perspective. So I would like to highlight a few events that I believe greatly impacted the school's path to success. And this was my experience. I have to first acknowledge the class of 1988 because we learned the words together, right? We entered Lincoln in 1984. I dove into yearbook and activities their senior year to help this class after the activities director and yearbook sponsor resigned. To this day, the class of '88 remains very special to me. Thank you for teaching me about participation, school spirit, Mustang pride, and traditions. I love you guys. Lincoln remained a safe neighborhood school until April of 1992, when one lunch period changed everything. A student was shot on campus. His spinal cord was severed, but he survived, though as a quadriplegic. That day's news was consumed by Rodney King, and there was no instant technology or social media. So if you never knew about this incident, that's the reason why. However, many on campus could feel the dike bursting, and we were running out of fingers, fast. Our former dean, Florence O'Malley, would agree, right? I mean, it was. The storm tensions were brewing and ready to bubble over. Nothing was normal. We had to do something. So the administration chose to rely on student leaders to assemble their peers and begin to get us back on track. A small group was given 1 week, which included me. We were excused from classes. Our task was to plan, organize, and produce 2 back-to-back assemblies in the auditorium, while the police and gang task force would line the walls, just in case. Thank goodness to these students who rose to the occasion in their open mic forum that met the challenge. I still get goosebumps when I remember that first Unity Assembly. All of us owe a huge and heartfelt thank you to the class of '92 and those brave student leaders who represented the various student Lincoln organizations that came together and showed us what it truly means to be a Mustang with pride and brotherhood. The following year, Ms. Gwen Chan was assigned to Lincoln as principal. It was she who asked ASB and me to continue to organize and hold an annual school-wide Unity Assembly, an extravaganza known as the Brotherhood Sisterhood Assembly. It is this event that I am most proud of, and I am delighted to tell you that in 2017, we celebrated the 25th annual assembly. Every year, the 350 participants, or plus, it was a lot of kids, who worked together for months, learned the history and the significance of this most popular tradition. Never the same, but always meaningful for those who are lucky enough to experience it. The Assembly has had a major positive effect on Lincoln's school culture and climate. This is one tradition that I hope to be the centerpiece of our student activities program for many years to come. In just a few short years, the fruits of our labor were evident to us on campus, but it takes a while for a school's reputation to actually catch up. We need to acknowledge a class of '96 for helping to get the word out. The class of '96 stands out for 2 reasons. First, there were more boys than girls in ASB and class activities. Loud, energetic, dedicated boys. Second, the reason why this group stands out was they were collectively truly proud to be Mustangs. It was just, I just can't explain. They possess like a certain je ne sais quoi, a palpable sense of determination to strive to be their best selves. They were absolutely exceptional, this group of 96. Their yearbook, titled Unique and Distinguished, explained why we were moving on up, so to speak. They created an incredible chronicle of campus life, and I was so proud to be able to work closely with them as both ASB and yearbook sponsor. Because of their unyielding dedication and positive outlook and achievement, Lincoln's reputation began to improve, and students and parents began to take notice outside of Lincoln. In December of 1996, those at Lincoln suffered a tremendous loss when a much-loved assistant principal and volleyball coach, Peter Yan, drowned in a diving accident during winter break. This tragedy made us an even more cohesive community as we pulled together and worked even harder to honor his memory. Mr. Yan, Superman, forever a Mustang. Principal Gwen Chan became head of high schools in 1997, and the beloved Ron Pang took the helm. By 2000, the majority of 8th graders in the city requested to attend Lincoln. Even Mayor Newsom couldn't help get them enrolled. When he came to speak to my leadership class, the mayor talked frankly with my students and congratulating them on turning Lincoln into the #1 comprehensive high school in the city. For years, we remained at the top. In 2000 and 2001, Mr. Pang took a sabbatical, and Frank Tom served as the interim principal. So for 1 year, I stepped up and I was an administrator. Margaret Chu, Fiorenza Gardine, and I made up the assistant principal team. And together, we spearheaded Lincoln's application for the California Distinguished School. It was like doing a WASC accreditation report on steroids. Yes, that year Lincoln did earn its Distinguished School status, an honor that I am also very proud of. Mr. Pang returned to Lincoln, I returned to teaching, and Abraham Lincoln High School continued its upward trajectory. The new Wellness Center was a much needed resource, as was a revived academy program. In October of 2005, students asked me to help chaperone a trip to San Francisco State for La Raza Day, where they were inspired by Dr. Jeff Andrade, an assistant professor and director of La Raza Studies. To make a long story short, these students wanted Jeff to come to Lincoln and work with our students and staff to help our underachievers. So, Ron's assistant principal, Kristen Mazzaros, their teacher, Alex Mendieta, these students and I developed a workable plan with Dr. Andrade, and by December of 2005, he was on campus. By January of 2006, we had a teacher-student leadership team, which formed the foundations of something called the Movement, and it was a 3-year funded teacher training program led by Dr. Andrade. The program was so successful that San Francisco State agreed to partner with Lincoln in the creation of its Step to College program on our campus. So in August of 2008, we were proud that more than 30 juniors and seniors, many Latino and African American who were first in their families to attend college, enrolled in and graduated from this program, where they earned college credit by taking required coursework that was offered weekly after school at Lincoln. Many of these students continued at State upon graduation with a definite advantage, because now they had a safety net. They knew people, they knew offices. This is an example of how students and staff who share a common vision can come together to make positive change. Thank you, class of 2006, and Lincoln's reputation continued to soar. Mr. Pang retired in 2009, and the fun-loving Barnaby Payne continued this tradition of excellence. Also in 2009, Christine Ng officially became the co-activities director until I retired in 2017. She was the driving force behind the scenes since the early 90s as a class sponsor. Christine truly is the epitome of organization, planning, communication, and efficiency. She kept us all on task and truly does amazing work, as evidenced by her major contribution to Lincoln's 75th anniversary event in 2015. And it got even better, because together we had the opportunity to team teach first period 9th grade English for about the last 5 years before I retired. And it was a special ed, gen ed partnership, and I got to start my day every day with my very good friend. So how lucky were we? May I also acknowledge Sean Alec, a former music teacher and show choir and class sponsor who assisted with activities during the middle 2000s, and Elaine Walenta, theater tech and drama teacher who provided sound and assistance for so many years as well. Our current principal, Sherry Belisi, was promoted when Mr. Payne was reassigned in 2016. You know, ALHS is fortunate to have strong and supportive roots that anchor and nourish those lucky enough to enter its doors. And I believe that through shared vision, determination, and hard work, positive and impactful changes evolve. In closing, I learned that it truly takes a village to create the ultimate climate and culture for a thriving school community. ASB was the driving force for activities and tradition, but we relied on various organizations, both students and staff, to help us plan and hold successful events. So thank you to those whom I've had the pleasure of working with, representing JROTC. I'm sorry that Colonel could not be here this evening. Links, show choir, drama and theater tech, peer resource and wellness, the academies, the ethnic clubs, VSA participants, athletics and PE, teacher chaperones and club sponsors, security and deans, custodians, accountants, admin, other community-based organizations, PTSA, and of course you, the Alumni Association of Abraham Lincoln High School. Thanks to each of you who were part of my Lincoln journey. You not only were important village members, but truly are members of my West Coast family. Thank you. I am so very blessed.